Well, it wasn't as easy as it should have been, but as Paul McLean famously liked to say, a win's a win's a win. I just want to celebrate another game they're winning. I just want to celebrate. Sens win 3-2 in overtime over the Los Angeles Kings. How are the young guys now? I finally did it! I scored again! Quit taking penalties! The Sens are gonna blow this game. Way to tie up the stick in front. Not. Well done. Just well done. You better believe we're gonna be having a penalty chat at the end of this one. What a time to be alive! What a long and brutal season that was. This team, man! And don't look now, but the Sens have won 2 of 3 and 3 of 5. And in the last 18 days, the Sens only have 3 losses. So much for finishing last. Although, let's be honest, last night wasn't exactly a sterling performance from the Sens. They were kinda lucky to get the win in the end. As always though, let's kick things off with lineup changes. After losing to the Islanders on Tuesday, the Sens made 4 lineup changes for the game on Thursday against the Kings. 1 in goal, 1 on defense, and 2 up front. In goal, after a marginal effort on Tuesday, Craig Anderson was not given the start in this one, and Anders Nilsson was. On the blue line, after being a healthy scratch on Tuesday, Erik Brannstrom drew back into the lineup, and Cody Goloubef was once again a healthy scratch. And up front, the Sens went young once again, as both Bobby Ryan and Mikhail Bodker were both removed from the lineup. To make room for them, Philip Chlapik drew back into the lineup, and making his NHL debut was Jonathan Davidson. I have to admit, Davidson was one of those disappointments for me in training camp. I honestly believed he would make the Sens out of camp, and he didn't. So seeing him work hard and earn a call-up to the Sens this quickly into the season was very encouraging for me. I'm not sure it'll last, as the Sens look to be getting a little healthier, which includes Colin White, who's expected to play in Belleville tonight. Depending on how things go for White tonight, will determine whether he's back in the lineup tomorrow, meaning Jonathan Davidson will probably not be up long, but it's nice to see him at least get called up briefly. In other injury news, not a huge update was given on Scott Sabourin, but the Sens did say that he is continuing to recover at home. That's good news. Hopefully he can continue to recover and doesn't suffer any setbacks. And the other injury update the Sens did give was regarding Logan Brown. Brown isn't skating right now, but is expected to resume skating in the near future. While I've got you here, and we're discussing the Sens lineup, one other tidbit of information, Nick Paul was told to find a place with the Sens, so he will be staying with them for the rest of the season. That's good news. Means the Jason Spezza trade is finally working out for Ottawa. That might be a little tongue-in-cheek, but it is nice to see Paul finally reach the NHL level full-time. Oh, and I may as well point this out too. Artem Anisimov went down with an injury last night. I'm not sure it was during the game, because I don't remember seeing him leave the bench, but he's got some kind of lower body injury, and he'll be out long term, as he's been placed on injured reserve again. Not that I'm totally upset by this, because to be brutally honest, I'm not the biggest Artem Anisimov fan, and this gives some of the Sens' younger guys a chance to actually play every night. When everybody gets healthy, the Sens are going to have to do something to this lineup, because honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing Bodker, Ryan, and Anisimov being the healthy scratches every night, but I would also like to see Cody Goloubef get a healthy scratch every night, and you can't have 4 healthy scratches. Something's gonna have to give. Now, let's get down to business. I have to be honest, I missed the first half of this game as I was having dinner with a couple of buddies, including one who's moving away to a new province. But honestly, after watching the highlights of the first period, it doesn't appear like I missed much. Both teams had a few chances in the first period, including Chris Tierney, who missed a wide open net, but the first period ends with the shots 9-9 as both goalies make a couple big saves, and we head to the first intermission, still 0-0. And the Sens come out in the second period, dominating the Kings as they outshoot them 7-2 early on, but it's the Kings who score first. Pajot loses the puck in the neutral zone as he's run over by Doughty. Brown picks it up, wheels into the Sens zone, leaves it for Kopitar. Brown goes hard to the net. Kopitar hits him with a pass. Brown beats Nilsson, and it's 1-0 Kings. You know, I hate doing this, but Shabbat, what are you doing? Chabot sort of did the right thing on this play. I mean, he did follow Brown to the net, but he wasn't nearly hard enough on Brown and didn't do nearly a good enough job of cutting down Brown's lane to the net. That allowed Brown to get the puck, and Chabot's just kind of stretching around, reaching for the puck. It's not good enough, and it ended up in the back of their net. This goal was all on Chabot. He needs to do a way better job of playing defense. Fortunately, he's a young guy, and hopefully he learns from this, because this can't keep happening. Fortunately for me and other Sens fans, Ottawa doesn't pack up their tent and go home after that. They outshoot the Kings 15-6 in the period, and finally, late in the period, they tie the game. Tierney and Tkachuk do some cycling down low. Tkachuk feeds Zaitsev at the point. He takes a couple strides towards the middle of the ice, fires a slap shot on goal. Anthony Duclair tips it in front. It beats Jack Campbell, and just like that, we're tied at 1. Hard on the forecheck, hard on the puck, pucks on goal, sticks on pucks. Just a great sequence from the Sens. Ottawa showed plenty of times this season. When they play hockey like that and they're hard on the puck, they can have success in this league. And thank goodness it happened on this one. The Sens should not be losing to the Kings, and scoring a goal with about 2.5 minutes left to tie the game is huge because it sends the teams into the second intermission tied at 1. That allows the Sens to come out in the third and take their first lead. Tyler Ennis throws a shot on goal, Jack Campbell kicks it aside, Artem Anisimov picks it up, he jams home the rebound, and the Sens lead 2-1. And of course it had to be Anisimov too. I rag on this guy, and then he gives the Sens the lead. You do have to give him credit though. It was a great play by him to go to the net, and a great play by Tyler Ennis to put the puck towards the net. You're not going to score if you don't put the puck towards the net, and you're definitely not going to score if you don't get any bodies in front. The Sens do both of those things on this goal and have their first lead of the game with 10 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third period. And like I mentioned earlier, that goal might be the last goal we see Anisimov score for a while for the Sens, as he played 3 shifts after that and is now on IR with a lower body injury. The Kings then push for the equalizer, but the Sens keep them out thanks in large part to Anders Nilsson, and late in the game, the Kings pull their goalie. And that means free goal Ottawa!
No, it doesn't!
Yeah, it does. When you pull your goalie, you give up a goal.
Maybe for everybody else, but Ottawa always gives up empty net goals, and when the other team pulls their goalie, they always give up the tying goal.
And sure enough, late in the period, Connor Brown has a chance at a wide open net. He tries to pass the puck. The Kings get it, go back the other way. Tyler Toffoli picks up a loose puck with 7 seconds left, backhands a shot over the shoulder of Nilsson, and we're tied at 2. I love the pickup of Connor Brown, and honestly he's been pretty good for the Sens so far this season, but boy oh boy is that irritating. Just put the puck in the empty net! And indulge me for a minute. Watch this. You see this? Look. Game over! Done! Game over! Over! Yo! 7 seconds! The Kings. Like the stupid Kings. Any team in the league except the Kings. They stink, and you gave up a goal with 7 seconds left! Just put the game away! The Sens can't do that, and now we get to go to overtime tied at 2. And in the extra frame, the Kings absolutely dominate the puck for most of the first half of the overtime period, and I'm left thinking, well, at this point, Ottawa's either going to lose, or they're going to have to hope they can get this thing to a shootout. But with under 2 minutes left in the overtime session, the Sens finally get the puck into the Kings zone. Pajot forces a turnover at the blue line, chips it down the wall. Paul ties up Doughty. Pajot picks up the puck, goes hard to the net, fires a shot on goal. Campbell saves it. Pajot kicks the rebound up to his stick, fires it by Campbell, and the Sens win! And thankfully, the Sens did it. I didn't think it was going to happen, but here we are. As for the goal itself, there's only one thing to say. Or sing if you're getting technical. Pajot! 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 I will never get tired of singing that as long as Pajot is wearing this jersey. As always though, let's get into good news, bad news. And as always, we'll start things off with the good news. Anders Nilsson was excellent last night, and that is the good news. Like I said, I didn't see the first half of the game, and it sounds like he wasn't too busy, but in the second half of the game, he was unbelievable. The Kings had a number of high-quality scoring chances, and Nilsson stuffed them every time. To be honest, from the game that I saw, Nilsson was the only reason the Sens got 2 points, or even 1 for that matter. Ottawa probably doesn't even get to overtime without the outstanding play of Nilsson. I said in one of my earlier videos that I'm basically getting to the point where I'm done with Craig Anderson. And honestly, with the way Anders Nilsson has been playing, that's much easier to do. Virtually every time Nilsson has stepped on the ice this season, he's been unbelievable. Whether the Sens win or the Sens lose, it's very, very rare that you can blame Nilsson. Maybe just one time this season, it's been Nilsson's fault. Ottawa lost. For a young team, having an excellent goalie can be huge because some of those extra mistakes they make can be covered up by the goalie. Nilsson has been able to do that this season as he has been excellent, including last night where he was very good, and that is the good news. Now, for the bad news. Ottawa may have won the face-off battle last night, but they lose key draws, and that is the bad news. A number of times this season, Ottawa's face-offs have been a liability, and last night in overtime, it was again. Remember when I said the Kings dominated the puck in the first half of the overtime last night? Well, a large part of that was because of a lost Sens face-off. Yes, they won the face-off off the opening draw, but promptly turned it over. Then with a face-off in their own zone, they lost that and allowed the Kings to drag the puck around the Sens zone for more than a minute more. Especially in 3-on-3 overtime, and especially in your own zone. You can't be losing those draws because the odds of you getting the puck back are very slim. The Sens unfortunately learned that the hard way, but fortunately were able to get the puck back. But moving forward, if the Sens continue to lose key faceoffs like that, they're going to be in trouble. The Sens spend way too much time this season losing key faceoffs, and it happened last night in overtime once again, and that is the bad news. Next up, the Sens return to action on Saturday when they welcome the Carolina Hurricanes to the Canadian Tire Centre. That contest will be the first of 3 meetings on the season between the two teams, including the front half of a home-and-home series, which wraps up in Carolina on Monday. And coming into these games this season, it's the Hurricanes who have the recent head-to-head edge, as they picked up 2 of 3 games from the Sens last season. But interestingly enough, the road team won each of the 3 games. But since those teams have last played, the Hurricanes have been to the Eastern Conference Finals, and so far this season have a 9-6-1 record, tying them for the final wildcard spot in the East. So if the Sens want to win this game, they're going to need to bring their hard hat and lunch pail. That does it for this video. Hit like if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share it with your friends, and today's question of the day is, when Colin White returns from injury, where would you slot him in the lineup? Does he go on the top line? Does he get eased back in? What say you? Let me know what you think down below, and we'll see you tomorrow night when the Sens take on the Carolina Hurricanes.